Still worried about those Lakers?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Number one, because that number one seed means absolutely nothing because it's to ensure home court advantage, and obviously because of the situation involving a global pandemic and the fact that they've got a bubble in Orlando, there is no home court advantage. That's number one. Number two, Avery Bradley, I got to give props to my man Jalen Rose that mentioned this weeks ago when Avery Bradley first signed off by saying that, you know what, he wasn't going to join the Lakers in the bubble because he's got a 6-year-old with respiratory issues that he was very, very concerned about and elected not to join the team. So as a result, you've got an elite on-ball defender that's gone from you. Rondo goes down hurt. He's out. And then I'm looking at the rest of these guys right now. And from a defensive perspective, in terms of their size on the front line and the interior, the Lakers obviously are formidable. But I watched Donovan Mitchell, even though he didn't shoot that great en route to scoring 33 points last night, he was able to get where he wanted when he wanted. And I'm thinking about a team like the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm thinking about a team like the Houston Rockets. And I'm like, what are you going to do to defend against those guys? Alex Caruso and Dion Waiters, who I like, and others. That's not going to get it done against those teams. So I do have reasons for concern. And last but not least, I look at a guy like Anthony Davis, who's clearly been the best Laker thus far since the return, even though LeBron's been doing his thing as well. But him being aggressive, getting to the free throw line for 15 free throw attempts last night, it's not about the points that he scores, it's how he does it. If he maintains that level of aggression, that's going to offset some of the things that the opposition is going to throw his way once competition intensifies. But the question is he going to be able to be as aggressive going to the basket against those other teams as he was last night against Utah, particularly against the Los Angeles Clippers? I'm not so sure about that. So, again, I haven't jumped off the bandwagon, but I'm very, very, very concerned for the Los Angeles Lakers because I think LeBron and AD are going to be who they are. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Somebody else is going to have to step up. And I'm looking for that other person, Max, and I haven't seen it as of yet. Again, it's early. They were gone for 4.5 months or so. They're just warming up. We'll see. But I haven't seen that person yet.
You don't have to worry about the Lakers getting to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, more than you have to worry about any team in a given year who's supposed to be elite getting to the conference finals. There can always be an upset, but I think the Lakers are going to get there because they have two of the best half-dozen players in the world on the same team. And let's not start making excuses in advance for the Lakers. They ain't going to beat the Clippers. And they ain't going to beat the Clippers. Not only, I said this originally when it happened because the Clippers basically parachuted the best player in the world in Kawhi Leonard and another guy who was in the MVP hunt before he got hurt, Paul George, onto a 48-win team. LeBron and AD are on a team that has to really build up from nothing because LeBron got hurt before the playoffs last year, right? So they didn't make the playoffs. So the Lakers are an excellent powerhouse team. There's no doubt about that. Clippers are just better. They're better constructed, and they have Kawhi Leonard. But I want to talk about the Lakers right now. Anthony Davis, you see, when you have a two-way four, guy who can play on both ends of the floor, who's also a shot blocker, a shot-blocking two-way four, that's when you talk about the greatest power forwards of all time, and you know, respect to Charles Barkley and Karl Malone, but the reason they're power forwards is because they can't take wings off the dribble consistently, really, otherwise they'd be wings. And the reason they're not centers is because they're not rim protectors, right? But when you look at the best who ever did it, and again, apologies to say Kevin Garnett, but I think obviously that guy is Tim Duncan. Anthony Davis is the first guy to come along, you say, that guy could challenge Tim Duncan as the best who ever did it at the position. He is so dominant both ends of the floor. His offense has been superb, but his defense has been bananas. You know, and if you have that guy on your team playing the big, whatever you want to call that, the 4 or the 5, and you have LeBron James basically playing the point guard, you're going to beat the Utahs and Denvers of the world. That's what the history of the NBA says. They're going to fall to the team with the best two-way wings in their primes, Kawhi and Paul George, but they're going to beat everybody else, Stephen A.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.